So let me reintroduce myself since I was not on YouTube. So YouTube, hello, 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 hello. I am just getting on. Okay, there we go. I don't want it in the screen. So I am just, I am really just getting on here. I just did my introduction, but with YouTube, you guys know who I am. You're on my page, so let's just roll. The topic that we're talking about today is S corporations versus. Let me move both cameras over here. That way I can have everybody on one screen instead of feeling like I'm looking all over the place. All right, there we go. So, little technical difficulty right now. All right. So, what we're going over right now is LLCs versus S-corp. And what I'm going to talk to you guys about it, or how I'm going to talk to you guys about it, is in the eyes of the standpoint from the IRS. Okay. So, a lot of times when you all have these companies and you're setting up companies and you're setting up these different entities, many of you are not set up properly. So, I'm going to just say this. There's different levels to business, okay? When you are a business owner, this is how most of you start out. Either you are you're probably a sole proprietor, right? So in the eyes of the IRS, because again, I am a tax and business strategist. So the way that I look at business setup, entities, all of that, how we're gonna set you up is gonna be based off of the business type that you're doing. What type of industry are you in? What is your goal? Every single one of us as business owners have different goals and different views for our company. So there is no one size fit all when it comes to taxes, business, finances, credit, none of that stuff, because every single person has their own, idea. So most of you, when you are not incorporated, so if you don't have any paperwork, if you're not registered with your Secretary of State, all right, you are a sole proprietorship. In the laws of the IRS, you are someone who owns an unincorporated business by themselves. All right. This is the most unprotected entity type. You are considered an entity as far as a sole proprietor. They've given you a name. But as far as a tax advantage, as far as an asset protection advantage, you have none. Because when you are a sole proprietor, you are now allowing all of your personal assets that you have to be intertwined with your business because you did not decide to separate the two of them. So you are considered an unincorporated business by yourself. All right. So if you have a auto shop and something happens on to one of your employees and you don't have insurance, and that employee decides to sue you, and you own your home, right? You own your car. Now your home and your car is a part of that lawsuit because you did not decide to separate yourself. You're a sole proprietor. This is how a lot of you all start, and you're still have your businesses set up that way. The other way with a sole proprietor is you file taxes on a Schedule C tax form. TikTok. Let me stop you right now and let me just tell you something. TikTok, you are my number one platform. So what I need you guys to do is to take this finger and to hit this double tap screen. There's a lot of information. Well, I'm not. Why is it not double tapping for me? Am I stuck? Why my double tap not working? Okay, long as I see some hearts, I know it's working. I don't know why mine not working though. Usually I could double tap my own screen. Okay. But what you're gonna do for me right now, before I finish talking, you're gonna double tap that screen because it's more than enough of you on here to double tap that screen. That's how you help me help you. That double tap helps me. Let's get them likes up. Let's get these pages up. That lets people know that I'm online, that I'm educating, I'm providing you free, valuable information that people charge you hundreds of thousands of dollars for right now on this Friday evening. So when you come on my page and my channel, if you're new here, that's what you do. You automatically start double tapping, and you continually double tap while you're here on this video. Because when you get people like me who are educated, who also care about some of you guys, not all. I've learned I can't care about everybody because everybody not in the mindset. Everybody not for me, and everybody ain't ready to grow, right? But TikTok, you guys are my number one platform. I spend the most time with you. I spend the most education with you. And so this is how you help me help you. Hello, welcome to the page. YouTube, same way. You guys are going to like the video. You're going to follow my page and my channel. TikTokers, you also can share the video, okay? Facebook, I'm not on here much because Facebook blocks me and my content. I'm not going to continue building on a platform that doesn't appreciate me or value me or allows people to come on and consistently report my videos, report my links, because y'all some haters all over Facebook. So if you want to tap on in Facebook, come on over to TikTok. We're getting off of here right now. I'll be on TikTok. I'm under Patrice L. Stewart on TikTok and YouTube. All right, we cut them off. Now let's roll. Time to get back to it. So proprietorships, that's what you guys are. Okay. The other entity type is called, they have partnerships. Partnerships are not as common as they really used to be. A partnership in the lives of the IRS are a relationship existing between two or more people who join to carry on or trade or a business. Okay. That's a partnership. A relationship between two or more people who join, to carry a trade or a business. Again, I'm talking to you from the eyes of the IRS, because I personally am a tax and a business strategist. So we focus on the numbers. We focus on how to save money. We focus on you not paying the most taxes legally, right? Working the system that the United States of America created, that all of us have access to. Just most of you don't know how to utilize it and work it legally. All right. So the other entity type, there are international businesses. For those of you all that do foreign business activities outside of the U.S., right? An international business in the eyes of the IRS is a foreign business that has activities in or outside of the U.S. All right. Next, this is the top three, that the most popular top three that's in America right now. Corporation. A corporation in the eyes of the IRS is a legal entity that is separate and distinct from its owners. This is where you're actually starting to play real business, okay? Those of us who are legitimate, real business owners, and you've been in business long enough to transition from a sole proprietor, now you're ready to put yourself on paper. Now you're ready to start handling business like the big boys. Now set up payroll. Now you're ready to actually do accounting and bookkeeping. Now you're ready to actually start doing coaching and consulting. Now you're going to set yourself up paper. All right. We already talked about sole proprietors. That's where a lot of you start. But for those of us that want to grow up in the world, for those of us that's ready for that next level, then you transition over onto paper. Corporation is a legal entity that is separate and distinct from its owners. All right. An LLC, a limited liability company, is a company that is a corporate structure where the members of the company cannot be held personally liable for the company's debts or liabilities. This is the reason why so many people set up an LLC. Because when you set up an LLC, it has the most limited liability for the owners. And the biggest difference with a corporation and an LLC, a corporation has shareholders. So a corporation also has a board and members. So you're going to have a CEO, a secretary, a treasurer. You're going to have shareholders, right? That board members, that's what it's called. When you are a limited liability company, you don't have a board. You don't have to have an annual mini shareholder meeting like a corporation does, right? When you're a limited liability company, you are members. You're a managing member. So if it's one person, you're a single member LLC. If it's two or more of you, you are managing members of an LLC, okay? So again, what I'm talking about is from the eyes and the standpoint from an IRS, these business entity structures. All right. Now let's get into the whole S-corp. You can an S corporation by itself is not a standalone entity, right? Just how I broke down sole proprietor, partnership. international business, corporation, LLC. An S corporation by itself is not its own legal standing entity. What is an S corporation? An S corporation is an actual tax advantage. It's a tax designation. It's a tax selection. Okay. So you can attach an S corporation to a corporation or to an LLC. So some of you guys that are like, oh, well, I have an LLC. Do I have to switch it to a corporation? No, you do not. You can still keep your LLC, but now what you're going to do is you're going to apply to the IRS by filing Form 8829, and you're going to ask them, can we now be taxed as an S corporation? But let's go into this S corporation more in detail before we do this, because this is the biggest problem that I have with a lot of these people that are putting out this misinformation when it comes to S corporations and entity setups and all of that stuff. All right. This is what I'm getting ready to debunk some of these lies and these things that they are sharing with you guys. Okay. So one of the biggest things that I want to say in order for you to qualify for an S corp, because again, some of you guys have these companies, you are not qualified to be an S corp. All right. You're not there. I've shared with you that with business is levels to this in business. Everybody does not start off at the same level. All right. So let's go into this S corp breakdown. One, the qualifications for S corp status. The corporation must meet the following requirements right here. You must be a domestic corporation, which means domestic means home in the United States of America, US. That's domestic. Okay. International is outside of the US. So one must be a domestic corporation. Have only allowable shareholders. So your shareholders may be individuals, it may be certain trusts and estates. This is why I talk to you guys about trust and estate planning, because this is what we're going over in our 5-day wealth challenge. The reason why we set up businesses, the reason why we attach trust to these businesses, because if you didn't know, a trust can own a company just the same way you do. All right. A trust can have its own bank account. A trust can have its own EIN. All right. So you have to be either an individual or certain trusts and estates. Okay. One of those three. And you may not be a partnership or a corporation or a non-resident alien shareholder. Okay. So you may not be a partnership. So that's why you can't attach this to a partnership. This is why you can only attach an S corp to a corporation or an LLC. All right. And you cannot be a non-resident alien. So that means you cannot be a non-US resident. If you have residency in Jamaica, you cannot become an S corp. All right. If your mother is on your board and she lives in Jamaica, you cannot become an S corp. All of your board and shareholder members must be residents of the US. All right. The other thing is you cannot have more than 100 shareholders, which a lot of you don't. You're, on these levels of what we're talking about, most of you guys are family, small mom and pop businesses, less than 10 people probably on the company, right? But this is how big businesses do. They do get up to a point where they may have 100 shareholders. A lot of the corporations that you guys spend money with, a lot of the people that y'all love to spend the cars, the clothes, the Gucci, and the rims with, right? These are the people that have 100 shareholders in their companies, the Gucci's and all of them. You can only have one class of stock. So if you're deciding to sell stock, you can only have one class of stock. You not be an ineligible corporation, right? So ineligible corporations are certain financial institutions, certain insurance companies, certain domestic international sales corporations, right? So certain companies, depending on your industry, this is why, again, I talk about every single industry is different. Trucking is different from real estate. Real estate is different from insurance. Insurance is different from a financial institution. All of these different industries are different, and nobody is taxed or treated the same. That's why you got to understand where you at and the levels in this game. All right. Those are your minimum requirements for you to be an S corporation. Now, if you meet those requirements, here's the other one that you must do. And I said Form 8829. That's the wrong form. For a S corporation, you're filing Form 2553. I don't know where I got 8829 from in my head. The form that you're going to file to be an S corporation is Form 2553. That's the form with the IRS to ask to be elected as an S corporation. But let me also say this before you decide to be an S corporation. This is the biggest thing that most people don't talk about. All right. When you are asking the government to allow you to be an S corporation, whether you're an LLC or whether you're a corporation, what you're asking is you're asking to be put on W-2 payroll, income, and taxes. What does that mean? When your company, not your job that you're getting already paid from that company, and then you're fake lying and saying that your W-2 job is your corporate job. Because I just saw some chick on TikTok put that up, and I was like, this is what made me really do this video yesterday and today. I'm so sick of the misinformation that is put out here. Because if you did some ignorant crap like that, right, this is what's going to mess y'all up. For one, if you are not ready to pay payroll taxes, if you are not ready to pay yourself as a W-2 employee through your company, you should not be an S corporation. Point blank, as simple as that. When you are asking when you are asking them to run your corporate information through your personal tax return, that's what you're asking as an S corporation. You're asking them to take your corporate tax return and allow it to be ran through your personal income and tax return. Okay. Then you're also saying, I want to be put on payroll. And this is where a lot of you guys don't understand that when you're not serious in your business, you don't understand your numbers, you don't understand money, you don't understand taxes. Because the other thing with this is on the federal level. On the state level, when you are applying for W-2 and payroll, now you have to register your information with your state's office. Now you have to set up a payroll tax account with your state. And guess what? The state is nowhere near like federal. Federal takes years for them to find out that you're not filing taxes. But guess what? The state, it takes them a couple of weeks to a month or two. Then they're going to start sending you. So let's say you decide you want to be an S-corp. And then you miss your first 2 months worth of payroll. Guess who's going to come and send you a penalty letter? The state. The state of Illinois is real big with doing it. If you have registered as a payroll, you have signed up for payroll taxes, but you are not filing payroll, you are not managing it, you are going to get a letter from your state with penalty and interest because you did not run payroll. And then this is what y'all come to say. Well, Patrice, I didn't make any money in my business. Well, why the hell are you an S corporation then? Because what you told to the IRS was, I am going to run payroll consistently and for this whole entire year and future years in order to be able to get these different tax write-offs and breaks. And when you don't contact them and when you don't fill out the proper paperwork, you don't file a zero tax return with the federal or the state, this is what happens. And then now you guys are getting $200 and $300 interest and penalty bills, and you're wondering why. Because you're set up and you're not supposed to be. You jumped into the big league and you jumped into the big boy pool, into the ocean, and you still should have been swimming over there in the little lake. You still should have been over there in your backyard pool until you understand these kind of things and got it together. But you over here listening over here to somebody on TikTok and YouTube who has no clue of what they're talking about. Never have done taxes, accounting, don't know nothing. Just sharing and spewing misinformation all over the place. Most of you guys, if you live in the United States, you're going to qualify for the S-corp. It's about 8 or 9 things you got to go through. The biggest thing is this, the payroll portion of it. If your business is not making, and most accountants and CPAs and tax people will say you need to be making $100,000 or more. I became an S-corp once my company started making $50,000 in revenue. Why? Because I'm a service-based business. When you are a service-based business, you have a little more leniency and a little more leeway versus somebody who actually has to pay taxes on a regular, like a boutique. Let's say you have a boutique and you're selling clothes. Well, you guys have to charge what we call a sales tax. I don't have to charge sales tax because I'm a service industry. So if you sit down with me and you pay me for a consultation, I don't have to pay the IRS a sales tax on that consultation. Okay. But if I'm selling clothes, or you go to a grocery store and I'm selling a product, I have to then pay sales tax. So those of you all who are in a product based industry, not a service based industry, when you are selling a product or an item and you have to pay taxes on that, you're in a totally different field. You're in a totally different tax bracket because you have to pay taxes monthly and or quarterly. Okay, especially to the state level. You're paying taxes to the state every 30 days. You have in Illinois, we have to do a sales tax uh, um, revenue report every single month, every 30 days. If you miss that revenue report in the state of Illinois, guess what? The state of Illinois is getting ready to send you an interest and penalty letter as to why you didn't file. So this is the type of stuff that I need you all to be informed about before you just go doing stuff online. Now I'm going to take a breath and go through some questions. TikTok, I need y'all to hit that double tap screen while I start going through questions. I'm not answering no questions on here till we get this page and this lights up. Way more than enough information on here that I'm dropping. Hit that double tap screen. You on YouTube watching? Okay, y'all at the right thing. We're going to go through a couple of YouTube questions first since YouTube is ready. TikTok, get y'all act together. Let's roll. Is it true that you can file an LLC for free in California until June 2023? And I've also heard that that $800 annual fee will be waived to the year after you file it after January 1st. So I have seen something like that. Personally, I have not looked up or filed any LLC companies more in the last 6 months in what is that, California. So I've heard of that. I'm not sure if it's true or not though. I did see an article about something like that. For all 50 states, I remember every single thing for all 50 states. I'm based out of Illinois. I do work with clients in all 50 states. So when I'm paid to look into other states, then that's when I do that. But at this particular moment, off the top of my head, I can't tell you that. My business is not based out of California. So that's something that I would have to actually look up and research. But I do remember seeing an article about that and that information being shared a couple of months ago. So that could very well be. All you have to do is go to your Secretary of State website. So if your Secretary of State is California, you will go to California Secretary of State website. It should tell you clearly on there if they're waiving the fees for you guys, because you guys do have one of the most highest fees in the country, like Illinois. Our LLCs used to be $500, but 3 years ago they took them down to $150. So that could very much well be One Tire Mom, but you would have to do that research yourself. As far as a mortgage loan, you would need to speak with a mortgage specialist. So you would need to actually speak with a mortgage lender to go further. That's the best I could do. There's nothing else I could tell you. You would need to talk to a mortgage specialist to do that. A mortgage specialist will pull your credit. They're going to qualify to see what you qualify for, what programs you qualify for. If you know your credit is not at least a 640, get your credit up. Don't even waste your time with talking to a mortgage person right now, because it's going to be a whole waste of time. All right. So if you are looking to get a mortgage, they're going to ask you for probably at least 2 years tax returns, at minimum 1 year tax return filed. And then they're going to pull your credit report to see what you qualify for. Most programs you can start with a 580 credit score, but why start at a 580 when you can get down payment assistance? A lot of states offer down payment assistance, but usually you have to have at least a 640 to get the down payment assistance. So I say check your credit, make sure that your credit report across all 3 bureaus have more than a 640. Make sure you don't have a bunch of negative and collection items on there, and then go from there and sit down with a actual mortgage specialist in your area. If you don't know one, I can refer you to one. Some of the mortgage people that I work with do have offices outside of Illinois. But that's where you will want to start. You need to actually speak to a lender, a mortgage lender, right? A loan officer. That's who you need to be talking to. A real estate agent you get after you've been approved for the loan. Then the real estate agent can take you around to looking for the property in the house. But you need to know, what can you afford? How much house can you afford? All of that will come from the loan officer when they give you that pre-approval. All right. So there's no point in doing nothing else until you understand what's on your credit, and then go holler at the mortgage loan officer. So we answered everything on YouTube. All right. What about a candle store? I mean, you're selling the product, so 9 times out of 10, you'll be paying sales tax. If you're doing it out of your house, then you might not be charging taxes. But the moment that you decide to become an LLC or a corporation, you're going to have to start charging taxes. All right. The other thing that I want to say too about some of you guys who are in these different stores and sales and things, remember and understand this too, because I had someone that was charging people sales tax in other states, and she did not have a physical office location or a physical boutique in other states. She only had a boutique in one location, which was in one state, which was in Illinois. But her CPA, and this is another reason why I tell you guys, most CPAs are not tax specialists. Most CPAs, over 75% of the CPAs that I personally know, are not tax experts. They're CPAs, certified public accountants. They do accounting, bookkeeping, auditing. A lot of them are not well versed in tax knowledge and tax expertise. So she had a CPA telling her that yes, it was okay for her to be charging people out of states. I kept telling her, no, the hell it is not. You should not be charging people in other states when you don't have a physical location there. It states that on the IRS website. For 3 years, she paid taxes to Illinois way more than what she should have been paying, because she was charging people in other states that should have not been charged. So Illinois received 11, 12, 15, 30, $20,000 in some months from her because she was charging people outside of the state that she wasn't supposed to be. Well, guess what? It took 3 years, but finally, after having her financials reviewed by somebody from the state, and she told them what she was doing, and they confirmed with her what the hell I had been telling her, but people don't want to listen, right? I go to a CPA. Yeah, your CPA got you jacked up and whack and don't know what the hell he's talking about. Plus, he was an older man, so he wasn't keeping up with the updated laws and knowledge. When it comes to taxes and finances, you need to be working with somebody who know and understand the updated laws and information. This is why I keep my head on this website. This is why I keep my head in these classes and in these books, because taxes update every single year. Every single year it changes. So if you're working with an old ancient CPA that still going off the old stuff and technology, you are not winning. You're losing, like she was. Paid hundreds of thousands of dollars and didn't need to. Collected hundreds of thousands of dollars and didn't need to. So if you have an online boutique or a physical location in your state, you are only charging taxes in that one state. If you are shipping outside of your state and you do not have a physical warehouse or location, you should not be charging people in those other 49 states. All right? Tap in and get with a real professional. Man, it's so much misinformation out here, even from some people who supposed to be professionals. A lot of mistakes I get from clients be from CPAs, because everybody is not a tax specialist. Where should I start to establish my business credit? I have done number, bank account, all that. You can go on that free quick site that I told you about. because I'm not really talking about business credit and all that stuff right now. I told you about that free group on Facebook called Get Business Credit. You can go in there and look up how you can start establishing your credit. There's a lot of free content in there. And when you ask a question, just ask it once. I don't know if that was your phone typing it in 3 times, but when y'all ask a question, just ask it one time. I'll get to it eventually and see it. Same way for online business. Whatever city and location and state you are in, you are only charging taxes in that state because that's the state you are in. So even if you're running an online business, you live in some state, right? Whatever state you live in, that's the only state that you're supposed to charge taxes in. Because even being an online business, you're shipping from your house, right? You're shipping from your warehouse in your state. So that's the only state that you should be charging sales tax in. It's the same for an online business. It's not on my Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group called Get Business Credit. It's a group. So when you go in there, you go in that group, it's a lot of information on accounts, net 30 accounts, how to build business credit, people buying cars under their business, all that stuff. What I will say is do not work with nobody in that group because it's a whole lot of scammers. That's why I'm not really in that group no more. That group was what used to be well maintained. But unfortunately, when the cousins have learned about banking and scamming these last 5 years, and they have completely turned the systems upside down. So I would say do not work with anybody. There's a lot of people in there that say, reach out to me, DM me, I'll help you pay this, pay that. Yeah, all them scammers. So just pay attention to the information that's being put out. Pay attention to the information, the accounts that are being talked about. You can learn a lot of information in there. It's okay weekends because I'm getting ready to get off of here anyway. My marketing manager is here today, so we getting prepared for the course for next week. So any of you guys that want to tap in and get into my 5-day wealth challenge, you are welcome to do so. What we are doing is I have guest speakers coming in next week. We are on all 5 days. These are some of the topics that we're going over. Life insurance, setting up a trust. We're not going over starting an LLC or EIN. We are going over the benefits of business credit. We are going over profits and investing those profits into your trust and estate planning so that way you can understand stuff. The other thing that we are going over is, let me put the actual flyer up. So this is the flyer. I need to make it a little smaller, but this is the flyer for the 5-day wealth challenge. So all 5 guest speakers, and I'm also glad again that it's all Black men. Byron and Sharnice are a couple. Yes, it's $197. There's the fee right there. And that's because, again, we're on Zoom. We're in a private Zoom workshop for all 5 days. This is a 5-day challenge. So from Monday all the way to Friday, December 12th, we start on Monday, December 12th. We go all the way through to Friday, December 16th. We're on every night from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm based out of Chicago. It's $197 for all guest speakers. Okay. But what we're going over is we're going over the importance of understanding credit versus your personal credit versus business credit, right? We talked about this the other day. You get a lot more credit when you have a business. If I'm applying for a business credit card, I'm more liable to get a $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 card. If I'm applying for a personal card, sometimes you're getting anywhere between $500 to maybe a $5,000 limit, right? But when you apply for business credit, your limits are bigger. Your access to money is bigger, right? So that's day one. Chuck, the finance guy, is going to go over the personal versus business credit. Day 2 is Gary Petador. Gary is going to go over stuff like what I do. You guys see every single day when I get on here, I always have on probably my financial literacy shirt or my Book Smart, Street Smart shirt or my shirt that says The Lab, Life and Business with Patrice. That's a uniform, right? So I don't buy Gucci. I don't buy gold. I don't buy Louis Vuitton. I don't buy a lot of high-end brands because, one, that don't pay me no money. That don't make me no money. That's just me spending money with another brand. But when I invest in my company and I wear my own name and logo on me, this is a tax write-off. I have 30 of these shirts. I have 30 of the black shirts. I got 30 to 50 shirts, which is my uniform. My uniform is now a tax write-off for me as a business owner. So if I'm gonna spend $1,000, I'm not gonna spend $1,000 at Gucci because I can't get that $1,000 back. If I'm gonna spend $1,000, I'm gonna spend $1,000 on my own name, logo, and brand, and wear it and rock it. And then that way, I'm able to deduct that $1,000 when I file my taxes. That's the difference. Real business owners. Now, I don't want to say real business owners. I'm gonna say this: when you get to a level and a mindset and you understand the power and value of what your money and income is, and not just wearing labels of brand to make you feel good and make you think you're doing something in the world as a business owner. Most of these people who have on all of these labels and brands have no real assets, no real money in the bank. I would rather own 20 properties in my neighborhood and rock my financial sexy shirt. I'm not a label whore. I'm not brainwashed by the brands, which is what most people are, right? So again, this is that also facade that you see with a lot of fake business owners, is the facade of looking like they're rich, but not actually having the wealth, the real knowledge of wealth, and being and having it in your bank account and having access to it. All right. That's what Gary's going to go over. Stuff like that. Taxes versus personal taxes, tax deductions on the personal side versus business tax deductions, right? Totally different ball game. The other thing I'm sick of is seeing this whole infinite banking. Be your own bank, IULs, universal life insurance policies, cash value life insurance policies. Well, on Wednesday, Ladarius Hunt is going to go over that. He has his own insurance agency, and he's a wealth strategist. He helped one of his clients pay down $50,000 in debt in less than 6 months. So he does these kind of strategies and uses banking and life insurance products to help you get there quicker with paying your debt down. So that way you can now go and on Thursday talk to Byron and Sharnice, who teaches you how to do mobile home investing. So now once you got your money up, you're going to now invest those business profits into starting another business. You're going to buy into mobile homes like we do. You're going to buy into buying the block box like I'm doing. You're going to buy into buying your grandmother house back or buying your community back. You're going to start investing in real estate, which will allow you to now make passive income, which now gives you a totally different asset level, which now gives you a whole nother layer of asset protection, right? So then on Friday, the last day, we have Gary Atkins, who is my trust and wealth advisor, who helped me set up my holding company, who helped me set up my trust for my properties, who helped me set up my land trust agreement for my property that my land sits on, right? So he's going to talk about that. Why do we set all these different things up? Why do the wealthy have all of these different trusts and estates set up, right? Because it's asset protection. So as you are growing and as you're getting to these different levels in life and business and you start making more money, your mindset got to increase. Your thought process got to increase. It can't just always be about looking good. It's got to actually be about having something and leaving something to your family, to your kids when you pass on. Making sure that this business is going to keep rolling. You get what I'm saying? So the whole 5-day wealth challenge, again, we are in here for 5 days. 1.5 hours every single night. We start at 6:30 to 7. You do get access to a replay on the site. When you go and look at the site and how it looks to read the information, at the bottom is going to say a 7-day replay. What I decided to do was give you guys access for 30 days. It's the last workshop of the year. I'm not doing another workshop after this one, after this week. I'm shutting down finally for the last 2 weeks of the year, get my mind together. We got tax season coming up. 2023 is full of stuff. Get into the community, tap in. All right. That's the best I could say. I'm also give you guys the link here. So on TikTok, you can go straight to my page. So you can go here to my profile page and that link right there and click the link. The link is going to take you then to my link tree. Once you get to the link tree, you're going to sign up. There's going to be a link at the very top that says 5-day wealth challenge. All right. And then this is how it looks once you get to the actual link tree. So when you click that link in my bio, this is how my link tree looks. So right there, it says 5-day wealth challenge. Lock your seats in. We start Monday night at 6:30. All right. It's Friday. Instead of spending your money and going to the club or going out to a dinner and wasting money and time, tap in, get in class, learn something that's going to help you and your family. Learn something that's going to help get you out of paycheck to paycheck. Learn something that's going to help you about, that's going to talk to you about life insurance. And life insurance is not only for the dead. What we're going to be talking to you about is how the wealthy are using life insurance right now while you're alive, while you're living. With certain policies, you can put money into it, you can borrow against it, right? Then you can start and buy real estate. You can start your own business. You could do a lot when you have access to cash money, when you have access to knowledge, when you have access to information. And everything can't be free. All right. So I will be back on 7:30. We are going over Navy Federal and credit unions tonight. But for now, this is how you can get in, or you guys can also text me if you are on TikTok or YouTube. I'm gonna put the link down here for you, but you can also text me to this phone number here. I'm gonna put it up here. Right there. You can text me to 773-253-8668. And then I also just go through before we wrap up. If we have any other questions, I'll make sure I answer you guys' questions. How do you know you have a good CPA? I know that's a very good question. And that's the thing that I get that asked that all the time, because you guys are going to specialists thinking that you're going to somebody who knows what they're doing, right? But I would honestly, if you're going to work with any person, a CPA, if they're not a tax, in the tax industry, like, that I'm in the tax industry, I do and prepare taxes. So that I'm in the industry. But just because you're in the industry, it's a lot of people that's in the tax industry and they are not trying to educate y'all. They're not in it for your education piece. A lot of people are in taxes for the money. It's a lot of tax people that I know that don't know a lot, that don't know taxes for real, and they just in for the money to get a check out of y'all. To me, you should be asking questions. Like if there are certain things that you want to learn or go over, you should be asking those questions to your CPA or your tax person, and then see how they respond. If there's somebody who, doesn't want to answer you, they don't want to help you, if they get upset or get mad because you're asking certain questions, then, that's not the right person for you. Right? They maybe not be knowledgeable, but maybe everybody's not real like me when they can't just say, I don't know that. Right? If I don't know something, I have no problem saying, I don't know that. You would need to reach out to somebody else who does this, and this, right? But that's why I'm saying, as far as with a CPA, most CPAs are not tax specialists. So the biggest thing with that, you're just asking that CPA, are you well versed in tax knowledge? Are you well versed in the updated tax laws and strategies? And if they can't give you any examples or any ways to strategize, you know what I'm saying, then you'll kind of know that person doesn't really know what they're not an expert in the field. And that's why I say, again, you need to be informed of who you're talking to. Most CPAs are not tax specialists. I'm a tax and business strategist. I'm not an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is an EA. They're the actual best people to work with when it comes to taxes in the IRS, because an enrolled agent is licensed by the IRS, right? A tax attorney, they go to school and they get their education, but most tax attorneys don't do day-to-day taxes or not doing day-to-day business consulting, right? So a lot of people revert to a CPA, but again, most CPAs are not the best. You even may even be better doing with a bookkeeper or an accountant or somebody, again, who deals with the day-to-day activities of accounting and taxes. All right. But that's the best that I can answer that for you. But I know that's a harder question, because that's what people say all the time. Well, I went to a CPA because I thought that they were the specialists, but that's what you need to know and understand. Most CPAs are not tax specialists. All right, that was all the questions that we had on YouTube. So YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead and shut us down. If you guys want to watch the replay, you can watch the replay here. Then let me also put the link to the challenge in the chat as well. If you guys do want to get into the 5-day wealth challenge, you have up until Monday around 3, I think Monday at noon, we shut the link down because we start class Monday night. So the email sequence, I think, goes out at 12:30. So we're going to shut it down an hour before the email sequences start to go out for you guys. So every night we send you a reminder. We send you 2 emails twice a day. So we're going to send you one around 12:30, reminding you of class tonight. And then we also send you an email 20 minutes before class starts with the Zoom link. All you have to do is open your email up, click on the Zoom link, and it'll let you right into the class and the workshop. Okay. We are right now preparing documentation and things in our emails right now. I'm here with my marketing strategist to go over and get these emails prepared for you. So as early as tomorrow, you guys will start seeing the roundup of the emails. We're saying welcome, thank you for joining, and then what the next steps are, pretty much. All right, so YouTube, I'm out. We'll finish up the last few questions on TikTok, and then we're out. I will be back on again for tonight for class and session between 7:30 and 8. All right, so now I'm